Welcome into the final game of this three-game varsity series. It's Kingsmen baseball back on the air here from Goldsboro, North Carolina. It's the home of Eastern Carolina Academy. The Bobcats looking for a couple of wins here today against the Kingsmen. As we wrap up both the varsity and prospect weeks with some good old baseball here at Carolina Athletic Park. I'm Griffin Lyon saying welcome in. It's time for some baseball as Logan Daniel steps in batting leadoff for the Kingsmen in the gold uniforms this morning. Just before 11 o'clock local time. We're going to get it going a couple minutes early, and why not? Daniel in the box against Jamison Stroud in the first pitch of the ball game. Swung on and missed, and we are underway. For the Kingsmen, it is Daniel, Thomas, and Bernie, the first three hitters. 0-1. Popped up foul. That makes it 0-2 here to the opening hitter. Pitcher for ECA, Jamison Stroud. We saw him playing the position during the series yesterday. 0-2. And that is inside. 1-2. Daniel to right center, hooking away from the center fielder. Weeks it's down. First base hit of the ball game, and it comes from the Kingsman leadoff man. Daniel spent yesterday's doubleheader in the 2-hole, but with Katie McNeil not in the order today, it is the shortstop Daniel who gets things started with a base knock to right center field. Here's Eli Thomas. Meanwhile, in the field for ECA, Estevez, Weeks, and Pittman are in the outfield. Summerlin, Wiggins, Cornegay, and Liriano around the infield. Thomas squared but pulled back the bunt, and it is 1-0. Clark Johnson catching Jamison Stroud, who is also in the order batting cleanup. He'll be the designated hitter once his day is done on the mound. 1-0. Thomas scores again, bumps it right-hand side. The pitcher is off the mound, flips underhand to first to get Thomas, but Daniel moves to second on the sacrifice. So it's a runner in scoring position for the Kingsmen here in the first. Christian Burney gets the bump into the 3-hole, and he bats next. One out. Nothing here, top one. ECA was unable to hold the Kingsmen in the first inning in the games yesterday. The productive offensive day for the Kingsmen yesterday. First game, they scored a run in the first inning. The second game, they put up a 7-spot. One ball, no strikes, runner on second, and the pitch to Bernie is in the dirt. Hitters count here for Christian Burney with Harris Clark on deck. Then it's Wynant and then Catron. 2-0 pitch. Burney takes it just high of the letters. Ball 3 after Jack Catron, Matt De La Cruz, AJ Griffith, Nehemiah Barnes, and Deacon Curtis. The 10 that the Kingsmen are rolling out here today. A unique lineup. Here's the 3-0. There's a walk, 4-pitch walk for Burney to put runners on first and second for maybe the hottest bat in this Kingsman varsity lineup. Harris Clark comes to the plate. He has hit 2 home runs in the last week. They'll be looking to keep things rolling. Had 2 home runs and a double in yesterday's doubleheader. Jamison Stroud steps off. pretty cool today, or pretty cool day today for the Kingsmen pitching staff. They get to welcome back a player who you'll remember, but it's been a few months now. Jake Donaldson is on the mound today to start the game for the Kingsmen, back after rehabbing some injury issues. Has not pitched and has not seen a batter since the Dominican Republic in February. But he is ecstatic to be going back out there here this morning, and he'll pitch in the bottom of the first to the Bobcats. The Kingsmen are trying to give him a lead to work with, 1-0. And that ball tapped third base side. Diving stop by the third baseman. He goes to the bag with the glove. Neither umpire was looking at the play. And the home plate umpire going to come in and call him out. The base umpire was looking at second base and had no idea that that was his call. The home plate umpire called it from 90 feet away. Preston Hudak and the Kingsmen don't love the call, but the home plate umpire should not have been needed in that position. The fielder's choice puts Clark on first. Daniel is out at third, and Bernie moves to second base. Kingsman with a courtesy runner coming in. It's going to be Eli Thomas, who was just in the game hitting, bunted over Daniel to second base. And what a big call that is at third just a moment ago to influence the course of this inning. You see the swing of, instead of a potential bases loaded and 1 out scenario, now it's second and first, 2 away, and a chance for ECA to get out of this inning with Brody Winan at the plate. Lost in all of that was the great diving stop by C.J. Summerlin. That ball very well could have been down the line for a double. Winan swings through a breaking ball. A 1 to Brody. And he goes after the breaking ball again. That one was a little further off the plate. Tried to check the swing, but was unsuccessful. It's 0-2. Bottom first will be Landry Cornegay, Max Liriano, and Wesley Kennedy. First 3 in the order for the Bobcats. 0-2 to Winan. And he finally takes the breaking ball. That's ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Catron is on deck if the Kingsmen get another hitter here. It's their 5th hitter of the inning. A single, a sac bunt, a walk, and a fielder's choice. 1-2 from Stroud, outside. Eli Thomas running for Christian Bernie over at second base. He took a huge secondary after that last pitch, clearly trying to score on any ball hit to the outfield here with 2 away. Time called by the home plate umpire. This will be pitch number 17 in the first inning for Jamison Stroud. He grounds one to short. Playable for Wiggins. He goes to second, and it's another fielder's choice, this time to wrap up the inning. We head to the bottom of the first. We are scoreless here in Goldsboro on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Back here for the bottom of the first inning, Jake Donaldson is on the mound for the first time since the Kingsmen were in the Caribbean. And he faces Landry Cornegay, the second baseman, to start out his first appearance on the mound in the Gold and Black in a few months. His first pitch, right down the middle, and it's popped to shallow center. Back on it goes the second baseman Thomas, but in comes Winant. And there's one pitch, one out. Welcome back, Jake Donaldson. The Kingsmen are excited to have Donaldson back less than a month before the championships in Lake Point out in the Atlanta area of Georgia. There's a second pitch and a foul ball from Max Liriano. Fastball, changeup, slider for Donaldson in case those of you like myself needed a reminder. Jake working out of the windup to Max Liriano. It's the ECA first baseman. 0-1. Outside. Liriano with quite the open stance in the right-hand side batter's box. Has a hit in both games of this series so far. He's ahead of Donaldson now 2-1. Another member of the KBA out of the state of Ohio. Time called, so he'll have to stop his motion. The Kingsmen in the top of the first, if you're just joining us, threatened but did not score. Got two runners on with one out. Fielder's choice out at third base. So there's a swing and a miss from Liriano to make it 2-2. And then a fielder's choice at second base. Stranded a runner on third. And the Kingsmen did not bring a run to the plate in the first inning. Two-strike pitch. Goes to the slider, but left it up. And the count is full. Wesley Kennedy is on deck, the extra hitter, one of two for ECA. They are batting 11. Kingsmen just 10. 3-2 pitch. Outside. It's a walk. The last time we saw Jake Donaldson on the mound, it was Kingsmen against Paulino Academy. Donaldson getting the save in that ball game, closing things out, a 5-4 win over one of the top academies on the southern coast of the Dominican. 0-1 here with one out. Donaldson out of the stretch for the first time. Outside corner. Oh, 2 is the count. Donaldson has Kennedy in a hole with a man on first and one out. Jamison Stroud, the ECA pitcher, on deck. Bernie sets up shop. Here's the two-strike pitch. And a foul ball ripped to the backstop. 2 games on tap for you today on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. We have this one that started 5 minutes ahead of schedule. Varsity action against ECA. Then the Kingsmen take on the Bobcats at the prospect level. The prospect team flying high after their win yesterday against ECA's premier squad. An 18-run inning in the fourth. There's a swing and a miss. Bernie going for second, but he missed off to the left side. It's a stolen base. No opportunity for the strike him out, throw him out, double play. Instead, a strikeout, which is Donaldson's first. And Jamison Stroud will come and hit with a man on second and 2 outs. So the Kingsmen prospect team playing the Bobcats prospect team for the first time all season. They'll square off again in a game that will count for the ABA standings next week in Lexington, South Carolina. and ran inside, and it hit Jamison Stroud. Jake Donaldson saying he leaned over to it, but Stroud jogs to first. Preston Hudak walking out to home plate and asking Preston Hudak was asking the home plate umpire if he can get an appeal, a second look at that, to see if Stroud leaned into the pitch. Jake Donaldson thought the home plate umpire was talking to him, so he ran over to the man with the mask to see if the umpires come together and change the decision, or if it'll be first and second for Alex Estevez. Doesn't look like much is changing. The umpires got together, and it is a hit by pitch for Jamison Stroud. So the ECA pitcher plunked by the breaking ball. Second and first with 2 outs for Alex Estevez. It's the same situation the Kingsmen had in the top of the first inning. And there's a ground ball to short. Logan Daniel wanted to go to second, but he could not come up with it in the glove. And Estevez is on. Daniel had a chance to get the Kingsmen out of the bottom of the first the same way ECA finished the top half, with a fielder's choice ground ball to the shortstop. Tried to go to second, but could not come up with it in his glove, so the bases are loaded for Patrick Keller. Donaldson being tested here early. First pitch. And that's flared up the middle. Daniel cannot get to it. It's into center for Winan. 1 run scores. They throw to the plate. And that will be all. An RBI single for Keller gives ECA the first lead of the ball game. All runners move 90 feet, so the bases stay loaded, and C.J. Summerlin will be the 7th hitter of this first inning. An unearned run for Jake Donaldson after the error charged to the shortstop. But it counts on the scoreboard regardless, and the Kingsmen are behind here in the first inning. Couple of first pitch swings for the Bobcats. This time the first pitch taken high for a ball, fastball just up above the zone. Here comes Joe Hudak. Coach Joe Hudak arriving just before game time with the prospect team. We got to sleep in a few extra minutes with their game after this one concludes here at ECA. Quick meeting on the mound. Donaldson going to pitch here to the third baseman, Summerlin. Summerlin was the shortstop in game 1 of this series. He's at the hot corner today. Out of the windup, first pitch. And actually that was the second pitch to Summerlin. After the first pitch of that at-bat was the mound visit. So it was a 1-0 count, and now it is 2-0. Kingsman in the second going to bring Catron, De La Cruz, and Griffith to the plate to try to undo the ECA lead. They spin and throw to second, and he's safe. Very close to the second base bag. They went with the pick play to try and get the trailing runner, Alex Estevez, and they nearly had him. We've seen that move executed to perfection many times by Kingsman pitching this season. And now 2-0. And that runs inside and hits Summerlin. No doubt about that one. Another run comes in on the hit by pitch. So not the dream start back for Donaldson. These runs will not count against him. But ECA expanding its early lead. Here is Mac Wiggins, still with the bases loaded and 2 out. There's a swing and a foul ball. It is 0-1. Despite facing now 7 hitters and the 8th in the box, Jake Donaldson has only thrown 18 pitches, facing hitters for an average of about 2.5 pitches per at-bat.
Y'all tell me to stop it, little boy.
Now it's 0-2. He is filling up the zone. The Bobcats have been swinging. Donaldson is ahead of Wiggins 0-2, trying to strand the bases loaded and limit the damage here in the first. Out of the windup, his right-hand pitch. Line drive left field. De La Cruz going back, and he makes the catch to end the inning. The Kingsmen surrender 2, but they're right there in it as we head to inning number 2 right here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Back for the second as Jack Catron leads it off for the Kingsmen. And he looks at a first pitch ball just low. Jamison Stroud back out there for the second inning. The Kingsmen got a few base runners on but did not score in the first. It all started with the base hit for Logan Daniel. The 1-0 is hit out to right, but it goes foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. Catron, De La Cruz, and A.J. Griffith due up here in the second. Catron swings through the breaking ball. Had a big day yesterday with some family in attendance. One of the Raleigh area natives had a double in both games of the doubleheader. He swings away at the 2-strike pitch, fouling it off toward the ECA dugout. Catron's family once again in attendance here this morning in Goldsboro, North Carolina. 2-strike pitch. Catron looks at the breaking ball outside. It is 2-2. Sparse crowd as a whole, though. Estimated at about 15 to 20. The 2-2 lifted out to right center, playable for Pittman, and he camps and catches 1 out. Underrated spot to watch games from here at ECA is essentially right below us. There's the concession stand, which I don't believe is open right now, but there's a nice little shaded area right outside of those doors that you can park a lawn chair and enjoy some games without the sun beating down on you. De La Cruz takes a strike, 0-1. 2-0 Bobcat lead here in the first. The Kingsmen looking for the sweep. De La Cruz takes high, playing a little bit short-handed this morning. On the inside half of the zone, particularly short-handed in the outfield. Both Caden McNeil and Dino Catani not in the lineup today. 1-2. De La Cruz chases. He will head down to first. The throw from Johnson is on the money, 2 away. The Kingsmen at the varsity level scored 24 runs over the course of the doubleheader before the prospect team put up 18 on ECA's premier squad. 42 runs yesterday in the 3 games in total. Griffith takes a strike. The Kingsmen looking for their first runs of the doubleheader here today. 1 varsity game, 1 prospect game. The varsity game counting for the ABA regular season. That is 1-1. A varsity team fighting for seeding. Breaking ball inside half, strike number 2. Had mentioned it a few times over the course of the last few weeks talking about the postseason format. I have been informed that the varsity format has been updated. 1-2 outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. It was originally scheduled as a 10-team pool play style tournament with the winners of each pool advancing to the championship. Now it does appear that it will just be a simple double elimination. Outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. All 10 varsity teams will be playing out there in Lake Point, and then the prospect format has been updated where instead of 8 out of the 11, it will be 10 of the 11. So identical formats between prospect and varsity. Line drive up the middle, but the second baseman bobbles, throws to first, not in time. Griffith there with what we'll see if it's scored as a hit or an error. He hit it hard to the second baseman. It was bobbled, and then Griffith, hustling down the line, legged it out. First pitch swinging Nemo Barnes. It's skied foul. Almost pounced up near us. One and 0, or rather 0-1. Now 1-1, just off the outside corner. In the bottom of the second, it'll be 9, 10, and 11 for ECA against Donaldson. Weeks, Pittman, and Johnson, the 3 at the bottom of the order for ECA. 1-1 pitch outside. Griffith was caught off the bag with the long secondary, and now he's in a rundown. Second baseman goes to first, but throws it away, and it is a takeout move. Griffith is going to be tagged for out number 3, and he is down. Face down, both players. Face down on the turf, and I don't think either has moved. This is not good. Griffith was starting to dive back toward the bag, collided hard with the first baseman, Max Liriano. Both of them still down. That is out number 3. We're going to step aside here while they tend to the players, and we'll be back with an update on the situation. Bottom two, we are back here at ECA. It is 2-0. Jake Donaldson back on the mound for the second inning. A foul tip strike into the glove of Christian Burney to start the frame. At the end of the top of the second, there was a collision between A.J. Griffith and Max Liriano that resulted in out number 3. Donaldson dots in the 0-1 to make it 0-2. A.J. walked off after some considerable time under his own power. He is no longer in the game in the infield. Nemo Barnes, who is the extra hitter, is now the first baseman as that 0-2 pitch is fouled off and Matt Pearl is lodged in the fence. Put it squarely in the chain link. It remains 0-2 here. Lyric Pittman is on deck. Donaldson trying to get his first out of the second. That is blocked, and it is to the backstop. Burney scrambled over to it, but there was no swing, so no need to rush. We'll see if Griffith remains in the game to hit. Being told that it was a shot to the upper body that Griffith took, diving into the bag. 1-2, just inside. Try to front door him with the slider, and Owen Beatrice right behind home plate. You can see him at the bottom of your screen as his hand's on his head.
Could have been better, Jake.
Beautiful slider from Donaldson. 2 balls and 2 strikes out of the windup, looking for his first out of the second. Ground ball to the third base side, but it is foul. Here's Clark was chasing. But that collision from Griffith, it almost seems like a collision that you more so see in football than baseball. Call Max Liriano for targeting. I don't know. 2-2 outside, and the count is full. So we certainly hope that Griffith is okay, if not to continue in the game, but just overall. We will see what the Kingsmen do in the 8th spot of the order the next time around. 3-2 pitch, and Donaldson loses him. Leadoff walk here to start the second. It's the second walk of the ball game. ECA scored 2 runs in the first off of just 1 hit. Out of the stretch, runner on first, nobody out. Just missed inside edge.
Here we go, Jake.
They spin and throw to first. Back safely. Standing up goes Weeks. Nemo Barnes applying the tag, but Weeks standing up. Final game of the conference season for the varsity team outside of the round robin. That ball lasered foul to the first base side. Both teams playing in that round robin tournament next week. Should be a good week of some high quality ABA baseball. Those teams coming out of the northern division of the ABA. 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out. Lyric Pittman at the plate. Donaldson has his sign, comes set at the belt. And fires the 1-1. High of the zone, Burney to first. And Barnes knocks it down. 2 balls and 1 strike. ABA round robin schedule, in case you need a reminder, for the varsity team, it's a Tuesday 4:30 p.m. game against P27. Then they play bright and early Wednesday 11:45 in the morning against Georgia Premier. Finish it off with 1 more game against these Bobcats at noon on Thursday. That's the varsity schedule for the round robin. Swing and a miss to make it 2-2. A ball and then a swinging strike. The last couple of pitches from Donaldson. Clark Johnson on deck. Then it would be the top of the order for ECA. They're up 2 runs on the Kingsmen here in the early innings of this ball game. 2-strike pitch. Slider. Burney, the throw to second. The tag, not in time. Ball is low and away, so it is a full count, and Weeks has stolen second base. Meanwhile, on the prospect side of things, for the round robin next week in Lexington, South Carolina, the prospect team does not play on Tuesday. They have a doubleheader on Wednesday. 2 games against opponents from the Carolinas. So that is ball 4, back-to-back walks. Wednesday sees the Kingsmen prospect team battle ECA first, then the Rays Collegiate Blue Claws. 2:30 and 5:15. Those games will be back-to-back, but on different fields on Wednesday. Then Thursday, a huge game awaits the Kingsmen prospect team, a game that could have severe postseason seeding implications. That ball bunted. Donaldson will go toward first, throws low. Nemo Barnes. Eli Thomas, excuse me. Thank you. Nemo had come in to field the bunt. Eli Thomas scrambled over to first to be the makeshift first baseman and showed off his best gymnast impression, going down to the turf in nearly a full split to keep that ball in the infield while keeping his foot on the bag. It's a sac bunt that moves the runners from second to third. And there is one out for the top of the order. Infield on the opposite side comes in. That ball popped up shallow right. Jack Catron makes the catch. They will not test the arm of Catron, who delivered a strike to Christian Burney at the plate. So Cornegay out on the flyout for the second time in a row. And here comes the 2 spot. Max Liriano, the hitter in that spot to start the game, and it looks like he remains in the game after taking that impact with A.J. Griffith. Second and third, 2 outs. Slider, top of the zone strike. Donaldson finished inning number 1 with 20 pitches. He's thrown 16 so far here in his second inning of work. Here's the 0-1. Chopped up the middle. Long run for Daniel. He cuts it off. Throws to first, but throws high. And it ends up sailing over the fence and out of play. Daniel had no time to set his feet and make that throw if he had any chance of getting the runner. And he nearly threw that onto the adjacent field. 2 runs come in as a result of the error. Liriano finds a way to score 2 more. So 4-0 is the score right now here in the second. Wesley Kennedy, the extra hitter, takes ball 1. We're starting to mention it before that ground ball. The game Thursday for the Kingsman prospect team could have major seeding implications. They play Georgia Premier, who they're currently tied with in the ABA for the lead. That ball blocked down in front. At least they were going into the week. We'll have to check and see how that series started between Georgia Premier and A3. Both of the teams that the Kingsmen entered the game, or entered the week, tied with for the 1 seed, are in conference action this week. Dominion Sports Collective split their 2 games with P27 last night to keep even with the Kingsmen. No score updates from A3 with Georgia Premier. That 3-game series will see Georgia Premier with a chance to go top of the leaderboard. There's a ground ball third base side. Mentioned it yesterday, but Dominion beat the Blacksmiths of P27 by a score of 15-1 in game number 1 yesterday before losing in a close one, 1-0 against Dominion. P27 got the win at home. The pitch with the runner on the move, and it ran inside and hit The batter, Kennedy, is plunked. It's the third hit batter of this ball game.
You're good.
The silver lining in that is Liriano, who got a pretty good jump heading to third, will have to go back. Dominion and P27 playing right now. And that game looking more like the first time that these two teams squared off in the three-game series. 13-1 in the bottom of the fifth. The DSC having their way. And with that result, if it holds, Dominion Sports Collective will take a half-game lead of the ABA Prospect Division. Donaldson set. Second and first for Stroud. And Stroud fouls the ball off of himself and seemed to take some impact there. He's down on a knee. It's 0-1. Mentioned the importance of the seeding implications. Talked a few minutes ago about the ABA championships being a 10-team double elimination at the prospect and varsity levels. That means if you are the 1 and 2 seed, not only do you not have to play an early game on that first game, you get to play a team that has already played that day in essentially one of the play-in games between the 8 and 9 seed and the 7 and 10 seed. So as the 1 and 2, you're at a massive advantage playing against a team that played a few hours ago and a team that has probably used a couple of their best arms in order to win that game. If the Kingsmen can secure a top 2 seed, they play the likes of ECA or PDG instead of a team like P27 or Central Point. That could be a massive difference. So that ball is grounded foul. Oh and 2 with 2 outs. That is inside. It's off the glove of Bernie, 90 feet for both base runners on the pass ball. It was inside, but that is one that Christian Bernie needs to keep in front. While we're on the topic of standings, I'll mention with the Kingsmen varsity team, they are currently in 6th place, a half game back of Georgia Premier, who is sitting at 7 and 5. The Kingsmen would love to find a way into the top 4 or 5 as the tournament nears ever closer. That ball grounded to the shortstop side. Long throw for Daniel. Goes to first, and that is on the money. Beautiful play deep in the hole for Logan Daniel. Ends the frame. 2 more for ECA. We will go to the 3rd, and we'll have more Kingsmen baseball when we return on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. To the third we go, and it is Nemo Barnes to lead things off after being at the plate when the second inning ended. Jameson Stroud hits a fastball down the middle of the plate to start off this third inning. The Kingsmen looking for their first offensive spark of the morning. They won't be scared of a 4-0 ECA lead. That was the score in the Prospect game last night when the Kingsmen went on their offensive barrage. As Nemo Barnes swings through the 1-1, and it is 1-2. Kingsmen were down 4-0 in that ball game, scored 18 runs in the fourth inning to commandingly pull that game away from the Bobcats. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two to Barnes, and he swings through the fastball, unable to catch up to the heat, and there is 1 out. Deacon Curtis, the next hitter for the Kingsmen, wearing the number 37. First pitch here coming to Curtis, who batted for the first time in a while for the Kingsmen in yesterday's doubleheader. Took a ball outside. Came into the 1 spot for Caden McNeil midway through game number 2 and got a few at-bats. Outside again, same spot. 2 balls and no strikes. Curtis had a hit in yesterday's game. He'll be looking for more in his first start. Has a hitter's count. The pitch from Stroud is taken at the top of the zone. It is 2-1. 2-1. High for ball 3. Top of the order coming up after Curtis. So Deacon would love to get on and be a base runner here for the Kingsmen as they try to mount a rally. Logan Daniel, who has the Kingsmen's first of 2 hits, is on deck. 3-1 is away. It's a walk. Curtis walks aboard. And now 4 at-bats in, he has reached twice for an on-base percentage of .500. Here is Logan Daniel for the second time. Singled and then was called out on the play at third base on that fielder's choice when the base umpire was looking at the wrong bag. First pitch, outside half of the zone. It's a called strike, and it's 0-1. I'd like to thank you for joining us wherever you may be this morning for Kingsmen Baseball and Eastern Carolina Academy. We hope you join us for both games today. Prospect game coming up next. That's in the dirt. Curtis looking to run. Throw down to second's a good one, and they've got him. Deacon caught stealing. 2 outs. So base is clear for Daniel. Still a chance to start this inning back up. That is ball 2. Kingsman trying to get Curtis in scoring position. Didn't get a bad jump, but a nice throw from Clark Johnson. Inside on Logan Daniel. Flashes of Neo there as he backed up out of the way of that fastball. Three balls to Daniel, and he swings away, popping it, shallow left field. The third baseman, Summerlin, just inside the foul line, makes the catch, and the inning is over. Kingsmen grab a base runner, but are unable to keep him out there. We head to the bottom of the third. It's 4-0 on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Back here in the bottom of the third, Tate Johnston on the mound for the Kingsmen. That is a ball. Jake Donaldson down on the mound after 2 innings, gave up 4 runs, none of which were earned. An untimely error at the shortstop position in both innings, extending the frames for the Bobcats. Johnston, a 4-pitch walk to start his relief appearance, walking Estevez. The Kingsmen are going to keep this one close. They've got to keep the ball over the plate. Johnston trying to get things started against Keller. That ball is hammered into deep center field. Winan going back on it. He's unable to get there as it heads back toward the wall. Runner circling third. Estevez going to get the wave. Throw to the plate. Bernie gloves it but cannot apply the tag. And it is an RBI double for Patrick Keller. And ECA immediately grab another run here in Goldsboro. CJ Summerlin, the next hitter for the Bobcats. The Kingsmen, with nobody out here in the bottom of the third, have been stifled offensively so far by ECA. First pitch, a breaking ball that got away from Johnston, and Summerlin has been hit for the second time. Second and first, nobody out for Mac Wiggins, who lined out to left his last time to the plate. Nice catch by De La Cruz to end that first inning. Johnston's first pitch is just high, 1-0. Sky high on the infield. This will be an infield fly. Daniel makes the catch. First out for Johnston on the mound. Carved out the bat of Mac Wiggins. Got the pop-up in the infield. So here comes Bryce Weeks, who led off inning number 2 with a walk and came around to score on the throw that sailed out of play from Daniel. Kingsman infield looking to turn a pair, get out of this inning. Just high. The top of the fourth, we'll see 2, 3, 4 for the Kingsmen. Some capable bats as they try to start a rally. Threatened in the first to take an early lead, and since then the momentum has swung away. It's at the knees for a called strike, 1-1. 2 games today for the Kingsmen, and then they hit the road to head back to Gastonia. They'll enjoy the weekend off. That is inside, and Bernie slipped trying to keep it in front. That ball nearly hit Bryce Weeks. Both runners get 90 feet as a result of the wild pitch. Kingsmen will practice, I believe, Friday, and then have the rest of the weekend off. Line drive right field. Jack Catron has it. No, he dropped it. He dropped it in right field. One runner comes in to score, and into second base goes Weeks on the air. Jack Catron playing out of position in right field. He is unable to make the catch for out number 2. The Kingsmen not doing themselves any favors. One more run in to make it 6-0. First pitch, a ball to Lyric Pittman. Pete Johnston trying to wrap things up here. There's a walk, a double, and a hit by pitch. Since then, got things under control with the pop out and got a routine fly ball, but the defense unable to pick him up. Outside corner, called strike. One ball and 2 strikes. Johnston trying to get the Kingsmen back rolling here defensively. The bottom of the order, a good time to try and do it. Breaking ball. Just missed. 2-2. Oh, no, it's not. Strike 3. I never saw the call. Now the question is, was I just not paying attention, or is the umpire relying on my ears more than my eyes? Oh, there's a little bit there. A little bit of a ring up. It's a little anti-dramatic, you know. Anticlimactic, maybe the better word. 1 ball and no strikes. 2 outs with runners on second and third. That foul ball makes it 0-2. ECA has scored 2 runs here in the inning. Kingsman trying to close the door. And a foul tip, strike 3, will do just that. We will head to a break and be back for the 4th inning. The Kingsmen trying to get things started offensively. To the 4th we go at 6-0 here in Goldsboro. Eli Thomas takes a hack at the first pitch he sees to begin the 4th inning. The Kingsmen have had runners on in every frame but have not scored. 2, 3, and 4, some big bats trying to change that. Thomas, a sacrifice bunt his first time to the plate. Looking to open up his account with the base hit. 0-1. Swings through the fastball. It is 0-2. Christian Burney on deck. Harris Clark in the hole. The 0-2. Low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. A.J. Griffith walking behind the dugout right now. The 1-2 is taken by Thomas, and that is strike 3. Griffith appears to be maybe a little shaken up, but all right. First pitch to Christian Burney is off the end of the bat, infield, third base side, and it is the third baseman Summerlin that makes the catch for out number 2. Fourth inning flying by so far. Harris Clark will come with 2 outs and nobody aboard. Out of the windup, first pitch from Stroud. That is a ball. Swinging Harris Clark, that ball fouled off. One ball and a strike. And now ball 2 outside. Clark and then Winan if the Kingsmen can keep the inning going. 2-1 to Harris. And he hits a high fly ball on the left center field. Back on it goes Estevez. At the track at the wall, it is off the wall, and part of the wall fell off the wall. It's a 2-out double for Harris Clark. The Kingsmen have a man in scoring position as Clark continues his hot streak with the bat in his hands. I don't know how well you can see that out in left center field. There is the rounded plastic on the top of the fence that you often see at fields to shield from any sharp objects. A lot of times it'll be colored yellow. Well, part of that just fell off the top of the fence as the ball had crashed off of it, and Estevez crashed off of the wall immediately following. The guys in the bullpen right now putting it back on from the other side. No balls and 1 strike for Brody Winan. Kingsmen looking for their first run. And he hits it into shallow right center. Tough play coming in Weeks. And the right fielder going to make the catch with the glove turned over. Pittman makes the runner to end the inning, keep the run off the board. We go bottom 4, 6-0. It remains on the Kingsman Baseball Network. Welcome into the bottom of the fourth. Tate Johnston back on the mound to face the top of the ECA order. Landry Cornegay batting for the third time. At least he was supposed to, but in his spot we have a pinch hitter. Looks like Riley Czekowski is hitting in the spot of Cornegay. The leadoff man here in the fourth. 0-1, Johnston's pitch. Tap to the third base side, but foul of Harris Clark, and it is 0-2. Oh-2 pitch from Tate. Hit into center. Winding a couple steps in. And he shuffles to the baseball. 1 out. Third straight fly out in the one spot. The first two came from Cornegay. That one from Czekowski. So here to hit next, it looks like another pinch hitter. Outside corner strike. I believe that is Ben Reese wearing the number 36. Just off the plate. Johnston out of the windup. The right-handed 1-1 in the dirt with the breaker. 2 balls and 1 strike. ECA getting a couple bench options and at bat. Out to a comfortable lead over the Kingsmen, who have not scored through 4. 3 balls and 1 strike now. ECA has scored 2 runs in every inning. If that trend continues, this game might be over a little sooner than the Kingsmen would like. Going to have to figure out a way to kickstart the offense and hit the brakes on the Bobcats' bats, and that's a pretty good way to try and do that. An outside corner fastball placed perfectly by Johnston. It's 3-2. Three-two pitch. Reese digging in. Tate Johnston looking for the first out of the inning, and it's a foul ball to the screen. There were a few failed efforts, but you can still see that baseball lodged in. It's lodged in. There's a little white mark right at the, if you're looking out toward right center field, there's a white circle right at the edge of the fence. That's a baseball lodged in the backstop. They have not been able to get it down. Here's the 3-2, another foul ball. Maybe if one of the prospect guys wants an unconventional way to warm up for their game, they can try their hand at knocking it down. Three balls and 2 strikes. 1 out already in the inning. Johnston looking for out number 2, but he deals ball 4 high and in after throwing a few strikes, but Reese just made him work. Another pinch hitter for ECA. First pitch from Johnston. Taken in for a ball. I believe that's Noah Jenna. Pitched in the game yesterday, one of the 2 games yesterday. Bernie throws down to first. Nice stop by Nemo Barnes over there first. Barnes was the extra hitter when this game began, but came in to play first after A.J. Griffith was removed from the game. Still have not seen who's going to hit in that spot. Griffith's spot is due up third here in this inning. That's off the glove of Bernie. Two balls and one strike. Runner on second with one out. And the pitch to Jenna. That is low. Kingsmen have given up 6 runs in this ball game, just one of them an earned run. But ECA has taken advantage of the opportunities that they have had. As now Johnston and Bernie come together. The 4th spot is up next. Stroud got the first 2 plate appearances. We'll see who hits in that spot. Foul ball. Johnston gets it over the plate and forces the full count. Had a full count to Reese, the last hitter. See if you can win the battle here against the runner. And now they've got him in a rundown. They've got Reese in a rundown. They go to second. Here comes Thomas, who throws to third. Clark with the tag. They've got him. Tate Johnston with the spin pick. And Reese was a little ways off the bag. He froze, and they get him in the rundown. So the pickoff play works, and now a full count with 2 outs. The Kingsmen suddenly have the chance to get out of this inning with the bases empty. Johnston's full count pitch. Fly ball center field. Winan looks comfortable out there in front of the Bobcat. In center, makes the catch. And the inning is over. Kingsmen blank the Bobcats for the first time. We go to the 5th. Remains 6-0 here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Top 5, 6-0, and it is the leadoff man for the Kingsmen, Jack Catron. Takes the ball high. Stroud back out there for his 5th inning of work. He has kept the Kingsmen scoreless through 4. He got a runner on second in the last inning, but could not bring him around. Here's Clark with a 2-out double, and he's stranded there. Catron's got himself ahead in the count, 2-0. And now 3 balls and no strikes. Opportunity for the Kingsmen to get the leadoff man on. That is a strike. Catron was a couple steps out of the box. Kingsmen have not had the leadoff man on to begin the inning since the first batter of the game when Logan Daniel hit the opposite side single. And that has just changed. It's a leadoff walk. Jack Catron on to start inning number 5. So that opens the door just a little bit for Matt De La Cruz and the Kingsmen. One ball, no strikes to De La Cruz. Struck out swinging his first time. Stroud glances over his shoulder, comes home, and the ball's lifted. First base side of the infield. Easy for the second baseman, Cornegay, and there's one out here in the 5th. Strike one to Nemo Barnes, who is hitting one spot earlier in the order than he is supposed to. I think the Kingsmen just kind of skipped over that Griffith spot. Throw over to first, back safely goes Catron. That is inside. That's outside for ball number 3. According to the scoreboard out in right field. We'll see if we get an official count here from Nemo, from the home plate umpire. Deacon Curtis on deck. And that is a walk. Curious to see what happens here in this 5th inning. As far as I'm aware, if the Kingsmen quote-unquote skip a spot in the batting order because they have no available substitutions, they would have to take an out. Now, I cannot see the entirety of the scoreboard, like I mentioned yesterday. I cannot see how many outs are up on the scoreboard. I'm being told that there's only one up there. So we'll see when the Kingsmen get the next out if that's the end of the inning or not. Good block from the catcher behind the plate, Clark Johnson, trying to keep the runners at bay. 2 walks that put runners on first and second. Catron's the lead runner. Deacon Curtis walked his last time as the bottom of the order tries to turn things over in a threatening position. Logan Daniels on deck for the Kingsmen, down 6 runs, but plenty of time still to mount a comeback. 2-0 in there for a strike. The Kingsmen can get one more base runner on for the top of the order. It gets really interesting. That's ball number 3. Catron took a big secondary, clearly wanting to get on the move, but he's got to be careful here not to help out the defense with an out on the base paths. 3 balls and a strike. Hitters count for Curtis. Curtis lets it go. That is ball 4. 3 walks in the inning. The bases are loaded for Logan Daniel. Jameson Stroud has pitched a good game for ECA, but he has run into some major time trouble as the Kingsmen get ready for their third time through the order. And Stroud will have a mound visit here in the fifth. He came into the inning having thrown 60 pitches, 17 here in the fifth inning to 4 hitters. Mound visit, a quick one. Stroud is going to stay in this ball game and face Logan Daniel for the third time. He is 1 for 2, a single and a pop out to the third base side. He will be looking to recreate his first at bat, but he will be his second. The Kingsmen have not scored after a day yesterday that saw them score 24 runs at the varsity level and 42 runs total across the 3 games. We are 5 innings in and still looking to turn the goose egg into something more. That was a ball outside to Daniel, and now he punches it toward Hudak at third base. 1-1. Logan went opposite side with the base hit in the first inning. 1-1. Outside, 2 balls and a strike. ECA is warming up a right-hander beyond the left field fence down in the corner. See what kind of work Stroud still has left in the tank. 3 balls and a strike now. He left the breaking ball high, and Daniel did not go after it. He has a hitter's count here, and we'll see if they make Stroud come into the zone. 3-1. Ball 4, and the Kingsmen are on the board. Six to 1. And you say that they walked a run in. That can certainly be said to be true here in this inning. The Kingsmen have only put 1 ball in play, and it was a pop-out. All 4 runners on with the walk. And that does it for Stroud. Jamison Stroud done on 82 pitches. A heck of an outing, but he is responsible for all 3 runners on base. A new arm to come in for ECA as they try to turn the ship back around here in the 5th on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Back here in the fifth, a new pitcher on the mound for the Bobcats of ECA. Jackson Brown in out of the bullpen to pitch for Jamison Stroud, who is responsible for the bases loaded and one out. He got through 4 1/3, but needed some help. And Eli Thomas up in a big spot. First pitch from Brown is outside with a decent amount of velo on that fastball. 1 ball and no strikes. Christian Burney is on deck. Then Harris Clark. But the way that those two are swinging the bat right now, you'd love to see them both hit here in the inning. That's a strike, 1-1. Thomas has not reached yet today. He had a sacrifice bunt, and he struck out looking. Kingsmen down 5, but they have the puzzles, or the pieces, emptied out of the puzzle box. They just got to put them together. Two balls and one strike. Jackson Brown, his first hitter. Hit high in the air. First base side. Foul. Playable. Caught. Liriano has it for out number 2, and it's a huge out for ECA. Here is Christian Burney. Slider just off the plate outside. Danced it off the corner. Burney, a walk and a pop out. Harris Clark is on deck. Had a double his last time. You got to find a way to get him to the plate here in the 5th inning. As Burney hits one out to shallow center. Coming in on it is Weeks. A long way to go. The shortstop back and makes the catch. Mac Wiggins denies the Kingsmen a big inning. They score 1, but that is all. We head to the bottom of the 5th. It's 6-1 here in Goldsboro. Varsity Baseball resumes after this on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Here we go, bottom 5. Kingsmen on the board for the first time. They grab one to make it a 5-run game. Tay Johnston, who has pitched the last 2 for the Kingsmen and got a scoreless 4th facing just 3 hitters, is back out there to face 4, 5, and 6. First pitch, an inside half strike to Easton Hart out of Myrtle Beach. Batting in place of Stroud. Breaking ball just inside. The pinch hitters continue for the ECA Bobcats. Saw 3 pinch hitters in the last inning. There's a line drive into deep center field, but Winan gets a good break on it, makes a catch. 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th off the line out, and now it'll be Alex Estevez who will hit in his spot. One out. Johnston throws his next pitch. It's a breaking ball at the knees. A good one to open up Estevez with a strike. Alex Estevez is hitless, but has reached both times. An error on the shortstop led him on the first time in inning number 1. He was stranded at third when that inning ended, and then he walked to begin inning number 3. Count is 1-1, and there's 1 out. Fastball, swing and a miss, 1-2. Tate Johnston has really settled in here, giving the Kingsmen some important innings in relief. He's got 2 strikes on the ECA left fielder. Out of the windup is 1-2. Just high. Good location. It is 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes. That one is low of the zone. The count is full. Johnston out of the windup looking for out number 2 here, but he loses him with the walk. 1 out walk puts a man aboard for ECA. First pitch to the next hitter, Patrick Keller. That is low and away. Keller has 2 hits in the ball game for ECA. In fact, I'm looking at the stat sheet right now, and this is an insane sentence, as that's ball 2. Patrick Keller has the only 2 hits for ECA. Just 2 hits all game for the Bobcats, who lead 6-1. Keller launches deep left. Back on it, De La Cruz. It is gone. There is hit number 3. He's got 3 legs of the cycle. Patrick Keller is having a day. That 2-run blast makes it 8-1. So 2-run home run from Patrick Keller, his 3rd hit of the game. Mentioned it a minute ago. The only 3 hits of the game for ECA. CJ Summerlin has been hit by a pitch twice. There's a breaking ball that clipped the inside corner. See, Summerlin not hitting. It is Blake Wallace in the place of the 3rd baseman. The pitch from Tate. Breaking ball in, this time misses the corner. Expect about a half an hour break in between games today. The Kingsmen prospect team taking on ECA's prospect team. There's a fastball in there, a good pitch from Johnston for strike number 2. Kason Young on the mound in that game against the ECA Bobcats prospect team. 2 strikes. And a foul tip, strike 3. He gets Wallace. And a good response from Johnston after giving up the home run. Comes back and gets a big strikeout. Out number 2, here comes Mac Wiggins. There is action in the Kingsman bullpen. And we will see who would potentially come in and throw. Ground ball, second base side. Nemo Barnes came way off of first, and there is no play. Thomas flipped to Johnston late. I think Nemo's got to stick around the bag there. It was off of his glove, and that slowed the play down as well. I think it'll get scored an error. Here comes another pinch hitter. It is Sam Lopez, who is listed as a right-handed pitcher, not as a position player. Potentially an at-bat for the PO. A couple of the Kingsman prospect players returned from the cages. They were getting some pregame hacks in. There'll be a little bit of time to warm up, but nothing to the sorts of pregame BP or anything like that on the field. There's a swing and a miss from Lopez. Johnston ahead in the count. 2 more runs here in the inning to make it 8 off of the home run by Patrick Keller. And another swing and a miss. Runner back to first as it bounced to the right side of Bernie, 0-2. One ball and 2 strikes as Johnston tries to get out of the 5th. Ground ball foul. Started this game just before 11. Not quite to the 2-hour mark, but inching closer. Still 2 innings left to play, provided the game is not shortened by the scoreline. Throw it first. Just off the plate, 2 balls and 2 strikes. This at-bat still alive for Lopez. Kingsman trying to send it to the 6th. The 2-2 swung on and missed. Bernie applies the tag, and the inning is over. We head to the 6th inning. 7-run difference here in Goldsboro. We'll be right back. Top 6 here in Goldsboro. Thanks for joining us today on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. 1:45 local time here in Goldsboro, North Carolina. 3-hour trip from Gastonia. The Kingsmen will take that trip on the bus back. The conclusion of today's doubleheader. First pitch swinging into the gap. Harris Clark, of course it is, but it stays high enough for the right fielder Pittman to track it down, and he takes the extra base hit away. 1 out here in inning number 6. Just outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Brody Winan swings through the 1-0. 1-1 to the Kingsman center fielder. Still not sure if we're going to see him come into pitch at some point here today. That is low and away for ball number 2. Winan, a fielder's choice and a flyout so far in this ball game. He is followed by Catron, who is currently swinging on deck. The pitch, just inside. Outside for ball 4. Kingsmen get a base runner here, down 7 runs. They had a chance to pull the deficit a lot closer in the 5th inning. They scored 1 and had the bases loaded with 1 out, but a couple of pop-outs did not allow for any more to come in. There's a strike to Catron outside corner of the zone with the fastball. Outside with that one again. Count even at 1-1 as it was a little too far outside to be considered a strike. The right-handed pitch from the stretch. He reels it back into the corner. 1-2. Jackson Brown looking good out of the bullpen. Breaking ball away. 2-2. Brown came in to face Thomas. He retired 3 in a row to start. Walked Winan as his first base runner as Catron pops it first base side foul. Three and two now. Three-two pitch. Check swing foul, first base side. Count is full with 1 out. Brown pitching to Catron. Ground ball to the shortstop. Chance for 2. They go to second for 1. On to first. Catron dives head first, but is not able to get there in time. It is an inning-ending double play. 6-4-3 to wrap up the 6th. We head to the bottom half here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Bottom six here in Goldsboro, North Carolina, about an hour east of the city of Raleigh. It is Jack Catron who comes out of right field and pitches. The second time this season we have seen Catron on the mound. He pitched, you might remember, back in Statesboro. That was way back in early March. That feels like a century ago. Catron pitched against the Red Sox of Georgia Premier on March 6th. He faced 4 batters. He did not get an out.
Not really.
The Kingsmen will look for 3 from him to get us to the 7th. The Kingsmen will have one more time at the plate, provided they can hold ECA to under 3 runs here in the 6th. Catron's first pitch will be thrown to the 10-hole hitter, and is a ball taken by Lyric Pittman, the right fielder for ECA. It is 1-0. 1 ball and no strikes. Bernie sets up shop on the outside half of the zone, and the pitch is high for ball 2. Jack Catron, one of the 2 main catchers on this Kingsman varsity team, played out of position today in right field due to a lack of personnel and is getting a chance to pitch on the mound here. He is asked for another opportunity after he pitched against Georgia Premier, and he has that opportunity now. There's a swing and a miss. 2-1. Ten, 11, and 1 due up for ECA, and as I mentioned, if they score 3, it's game over. If they do not, the Kingsmen will come to the plate in the 7th. As we wrap up this conference series, 2-1 pitch, foul ball hit to the first base side, and it is out of play. Two, line drive, leaping up, unable to get there. Logan Daniels just over his head and into center. Leadoff hit for Lyric Pittman. It's the first hit of the ball game for ECA that is not from Patrick Keller. Here comes the other ECA catcher. Takes the ball up and in. That's Tegan Nickerson. Nickerson caught game 1 of the doubleheader yesterday, getting a pinch hit at bat. Here, he swings and misses after that breaking ball. A good one from Catron. It was either Catron or Winan coming out of the pen if Tate was not going to finish the rest of this ball game on the mound. They're going to save their center fielder, I would imagine, in case they need an inning or 2 at the prospect game. Winan, one of the floaters, is outside for a ball. Catron slide step, ground ball over his head. Daniel takes it to the bag, goes to first, a double play. Logan Daniel got it going to the second base bag, stepped on it just in time to get Pittman, and then threw on to first. And the Kingsmen have 2 outs here in the 6th inning. Top of the order for the 4th time. That is a ball. It is Chakowski getting his second at bat. He flew out to center in his first time at the plate. One ball, no strikes. Catron is set. He can work out of the windup if he wants to, but he just lifts the leg, touches it, and the ball is popped up on the infield. Second baseman coming in, and that ball drops on the infield. I think Thomas misread it. That ball was off the end of the bat, and it landed on the green part of the infield turf. Thomas took a couple of steps back, and though Daniel chased after it from shortstop, neither one of them was able to get to the baseball. That is a hit. A mistake at second, but the mental error does not count as an error, so it's a single for Tchaikovsky, and here comes Ben Reese. Outside, one ball, no strikes. Jake Donaldson is in right field. Started this game as the pitcher. Catron was in right to start the ball game, so they needed somebody to go out and play right field. There's a swing and a miss. A good fastball from Catron on the inner half of the zone. We will have about a half an hour break in between games 1 and 2 today. The Prospect team up against ECA's Prospect after their big win yesterday. That is high from Catron for ball 2. The Kingsmen with a profound 18-4 win against ECA's premier team. And if nothing else, after having their senior day spoiled by the Kingsmen, the ECA Prospect team, particularly, I'm sure, the floaters on that team, as there's a strike swinging to make it 2-2, are going to be hungry for some revenge. The Kingsmen will have to come ready to play. That non-conference game will wrap up this 2-game series for the Prospect squad. 5 games played in total this week between the 2 days that the team has been in Goldsboro. 2-strike pitch inside, and it goes straight to the backstop, 90 feet for Tchaikovsky, who's on second. Count is full. Tchaikovsky would have been running on this pitch, but now he's already on second base. Three-two is high. Ben Reese has walked twice now since coming into the game for Max Liriana. Here comes Henna. Noah Henna out of Apex, North Carolina, one of those suburbs of Raleigh. It's in the dirt, 1-0. There's the strike. Ball and a strike. Catron here with 2 outs. Just misses the top of the strike zone with that fastball. Easton Hart is on deck for the Bobcats if they get one more hitter. 2-1. Line drive right center field, hooking toward the gap, winding after it to a dive. Got it. It does not matter the situation. It does not matter the score. The Kingsmen are going to put full effort into every play, and Winan just made an excellent catch as the ball tailed away from him toward the gap. That ends the inning. We go to the 7th. The Kingsmen looking to start a rally when we come back on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. We go to the 7th. The Kingsmen needing a rally to figure out how to win this ball game. There's a swing and a miss. De La Cruz, the leadoff. And he is struck out on 3 pitches to start the top of the 7th. Kingsmen are going to need 7 if they are to tie the ball game. They've got a ways to go. Nemo Barnes batting in the 8 holes. They skip over Griffith's spot. There's a ground ball up the middle off the bag, and it is into center for a base hit. Nehemiah Barnes has the base knock. That is hit number 4 today for the Kingsmen. And it comes from the 9 hole. Barnes trying to get the party started. Deacon Curtis, the next hit. Oh, and 1 to Deacon Curtis, who has walked twice in his first start of the spring. There's a ground ball, third base side. They go to second for 1. They go around the horn to wrap up the ball game. The final 2 innings for the Kingsmen end with a double play. And that caps off a tough end to the series. A series that the Kingsmen won and have a lot of good to take from. But a tough end nonetheless. They fall 8-1 to the Bobcats here in Goldsboro. The prospect team will try to pick up their teammates and find a win to wrap up the week. We will be back in half an hour. Look for the broadcast to start a little after 1:30. We'll be back with the final game of the week. Kingsmen against the Bobcats once more from Goldsboro. Once again, the final score 8-1. Thanks for joining us. I'm Griffin Leonard saying so long from the cap here in Goldsboro, Carolina Athletic Park. The Bobcats victorious. Thanks. We'll see you again soon on the Kingsmen Baseball Network.